Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm Claire, this is Purple Poppy, and as you can see, we are on Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. So these are the last two. That was the last one of spring, the first one of summer, and the second one of summer is bugs or butterflies. Now, I'm not really into bugs, to be honest. So I've got this dragonfly stamp. I thought I would use that. So then I had to think about what I was going to do, and I was looking at this one, which I'm hugely pleased with, but I realised this is a sort of mixed media type page. I mean, it's not really, because it's all fabric, but even the felt is a form of fabric. So here we go. Now that's how my dragonfly stamps. And I did think that maybe I would have it as a tag on the page. Maybe I won't. We'll see how we go. But I have got these two stencils. Can't see them very well, can you? Let's lay it on the blue. So I've got that one, which is sort of leafy. And then I've got this one, which is a different type of leaf. If anybody wants these, by the way, they came in a pack of 18. It just says stencils for painting on, printing on wood. They came from Amazon. There's 18 in the pack, and they were just under £5. So I thought they were really good value. And they're 6x3, so they're perfect for my tag sizes. If you've been around for a while, you know that I always do tags, or generally my standard tag size is 6x3. So what I wanted to do, I need water because dragonflies are always close to water. So I've got this blue fabric, which I thought could sort of look a bit like a pond, what do we think, or a lake or whatever. So we've got that, and I wanted to create like a distance and layers, you know, coming forward. So I've got two different greens here. I've got a crushed olive by Tim Holtz Distress Ink. Don't know what colour this is because this is part of a Paper Society box and they never gave you colours. So I've got a sponge and I'm gonna attempt to get this colour through this stencil on to my fabric. Now I wouldn't necessarily do this if it was a fabric that was going to be washed, because I'm not convinced that these would stay, because they are water soluble inks. You can get inks that are not. You can get inks that are stable. I mean, the archival ones are stable. They're waterproof. But I'm just trying. That's all right, I'm looking for a piece of paper or something to go here, because I do not want to go further than I want to go. There we go. Hold that as well. Goodness me, lots of holding to do. So anyway, how are you? What have you been up to? Are you busy working on this project? Are you doing something else? The beginning of the month is always quite a busy time for me because I'm in a swap that I've mentioned a few times, and we always have a new, you know, release of that at the beginning of the month. There you go, it works nice, I like that. Now what I'm hoping is that this green is a different colour. Let's just, yeah, it is a different colour. Perfect. So I'll close that one up, and now I'm going to lay this one over the top but bring it down. I want to get different colour and different perspective. I'm hoping that doing this, it's going to make it look like this one is much further forward. That's the plan anyway. It's definitely not as intense as you can see as the Tim Holtz inks, but I think it's working. We'll check in a minute. And I hope I'm on screen, because obviously I'm working down the bottom here now. So I thought a bit of a lake with that blue fabric, some bulrushes. I do love a bulrush. Yeah, there you go. Perfect, I'm happy with that. So we'll get rid of them, they'll need washing off later, but we are done with those for the time being. We can get rid of that bit of paper. So I've got my layers. Now I'm feeling that this needs to be sort of ovalish, so we'll use it that way. My pens seem to be running out, so that's going that side, isn't it? Do I want it oval, or do I want a weird sort of triangle? See, my pens are rubbish. I think I said this recently in a different stitching video. These are the actual Frictions, and I did a little while ago buy these to replace some fake ones, you know, just heat removable ink pens. That's a good lake, isn't it, I think? And I think the other ones were far better than these, to be honest, and of course they were a lot cheaper, so I think I will be reverting back to the fake ones. So okay, so I've cut out my lake. It's not a pond, is it? It's a lake. Could be a pond. Ponds are huge, or they can be. I'm going to call it a lake. And I went for this pale-ish blue because it's summer, isn't it? So there's going to be sunlight playing on it. And obviously I've done it much too big now. That's okay. Where's my fold? There, so I've got plenty. So I'm going to put it about there, I think. I'm going to put a pin in it because then I can get my bulrushes at the front here. I can get a bit of land there, and I can maybe get him. Yeah, look, I can get him up there. So there's the plan. So should we get him stamped as well while we're here? Why not? Let's get all this inky stuff out of the way at the beginning, and then we're done. So yeah, because I've been wanting all the way down the line to make this more journal-like than a stitch book, is why I've gone for all these different treatments and ways of doing mine. There you go, nice and pale. And I've got some silver thread. I'm probably stitch it in silver, and then I thought here I could do some like fabric weaving. We'll go all the way, not fabric, thread weaving go all the way across, and that way I would get my like land mass. So if I weave all across here, that's going to cover up that blue edge, and that's going to give me land mass. And then on that land mass I can stitch my bulrushes, and then we'll have another land mass here, cover up the edge of this water. That's my plan. It's quite a lot of stitching gonna go on there, but I deliberately want it on this shape so that the landmass, you know, covers up the edge like that. That's the plan. Let's hope it works out okay. And then I've got some green grasses that will come off that landmass, some white sort of ripples in my water, and then I've got green stalk, not green, that's definitely not green, Claire, brown stalks for my bulrushes, and I've got this really thick felty stuff that I thought I could snip bits off my bulrushes. So stop talking for anyone that's watching in silence and let's do some stitching. So I'm just going to do some invisible stitching to get this bit of blue fabric down, and then I'm going to have to dig out a variety of greeny threads. I mean, I've got two here. We could start with those and do our warp and our weft. I noticed that K3N was doing thread weaving the other day. Right, so that needs to come out to make our life a little bit easier. And I'm just gonna do some invisible stitching. So little tiny one at the top, big one, don't pull the thread off the needle, big one to the back, and just follow this through. Also, I think by doing the thread weaving that we're going to get a mixture of greens, which is going to make like a nice sort of grassy bank. That's my plan, but as always, don't really know whether or not it's going to work till we get to the end and we like it or we don't. So don't know how many of you saw Friday's video where I started that just because quilt, following along sort of with what Corinne's doing, not following on exactly because I'm working in a slightly different style, but yeah, as you saw, I've marked out all the fabric now. Actually, I'm lying. I've marked out the plan for the fabric, I haven't marked the actual fabric. And you've seen all those wonderful, well, I think they're wonderful, bits and pieces that I'm going to use to make my blocks each month. So yeah, but in the meantime, we're doing this. I can't believe September. The children have all gone back to school, and now, of course, I don't know about you, but for me, it always feels like we're on the run up to Christmas once the children go back to school. It feels like Christmas is just around the corner. So I'm doing bigger stitches here because I know that I'm going to have a ball rush right up the end here, and it's going to be well hidden, so I'm not too worried about that. Okay, and then just going to close that off. And we can start doing some fun stitching. So bearing in mind we are working, did I get a proper knot in that? We are working in layers. We're trying to get, you know, some depth to our piece. So I suppose I better trim that off, hadn't I, before I do anything else. So there you go. That's the end of the page. And we can take that out now. Because we're working in layers, I suppose before I start stitching I should follow some water lines. So I'm going to use white for that. This is the same sheepies that I always use. So just need to actually, do you know what? I think I'm lying to you. I think this is stranded. Look, it's not sheepies at all. I realised that when it was separating. So I think I'm just going to go for 2. There you go. And we'll put those 2 through there. She says, come on Claire, thread the needle, what's the matter with you? And I don't know about you, I find very often I've threaded it, I don't think I've threaded it, so I'll start again and then you end up pulling it out. Oh, for goodness sake. When I do the greens that I've bought up, they are definitely stranded, and I'm going to use all 6 strands. Oh, for goodness sake. So that my needle weaving, I really can't thread this now. Okay, let's try the other end. It's usually what I do. I'm going to use that all 6 strands of that green stranded to give me a nice thick I can't believe I'm doing this. Right, well, I'll see you in a minute then, as they say. Goodness me, it took forever to thread that needle, but whilst I was doing it, I did think that maybe I would want like a sort of ripple, you know, like somebody's thrown stones in or pebbles in or something. So something like that. And get a little tiny one in the middle. And then maybe sort of, see, these pens are absolutely rubbish. Something like that. Or does it need to be bigger ripple effect? See all this planning. Oh, I think it probably needs to be a bigger ripple, doesn't it, rather than lines. Oh yes, liking that quite a lot. There we go. What do we think? Do I think that's a bit weird? do you know what? It's not weird. I'm going to do it. I'm probably not going to stitch the whole of the line that I've put in. Yeah, there we go. But I will stitch some of it. Let's see how we get on. We can always iron out what we don't use, can't we? So we'll start with this one in the middle, and I think I'm going to do a running stitch, because I think that will give me like a dotted line rather than the complete line, which is sort of what I want. But I'm going to try and place them differently, if that makes sense. Oh, I can't believe I pulled the needle off this thread. It took 4 hours to get in there, for goodness sake. Oh, went first time that time. Yay, result. Okay, so on there, and then you see I'm going to come on the diagonal there and try and overlap that hole, as it were, to give me that sort of staggered circle. You know how when you sort of look at the ripples, they don't necessarily make full circles. That's my theory anyway. I don't know if it's a bit crazy or if it makes sense, but that's where I'm going with it. Goodness me, I feel like I need coffee now. See, and then I need to come almost all the way round, which I can't do because it's bent, so it's going to look odd. So I'm going to break it like there. There we go. And then across there, up there, and across there, and then come in that diagonal. So I'm trying to always cover those gaps. As it's getting bigger, I'm probably going to have to add in a couple of little extra ones, but I don't think that matters. As long as it's broken, that's the plan. And that just came to me because that needle wouldn't thread. So there you go. Perhaps that was the universe trying to tell me something. Claire, you need ripples, not lines. Mind you, I suppose they're still called ripples, are they? Oh, I don't know. Does it really matter for this particular purpose? So I'm getting these. I mean, at the moment, I don't think it looks like a pond and ripples, but hopefully, once I get the, I mean, we've got some greenery, we've got a dragonfly, bit of extra fluff. Right. And then going on to that. Oh, that's Bo jumping around on my bed. You can hear a clip clopping in hubby's office probably now. There you go. So I was watching Christine from, is it Craft and Create, I believe, her website, her channel, goodness me, Claire, get grip. And she was using Inktense blocks to dye some wool. That was pretty fabulous to watch, Christine. Gotta be honest. Makes you realise just how... now I can't keep doing that because otherwise my lines are going to be out of sync. So we'll just cross over there and bring this back to where it should be. I keep spinning it around. There we go. That's that line. And then pick this one up. So obviously I'm zigzagging all over the place at the back, but I just want to get where I want to be, as it were. I'm really surprised, to be honest with you, at how much I'm loving this project. I didn't think I was gonna, and I suppose the obvious question there is, well, why did you start it? Well, mainly because I sort of overpulled that now. There you go. Mainly because I pulled it off again. I wasn't doing anything else at the time. It's a bit rude, isn't it? But it's honest. And I thought, oh, I don't know, it doesn't feel like my kind of thing. But as time's gone on, I'm absolutely loving it. Apart from, look, it all being connected and falling apart and driving me insane. Please stop, Mummy. This white thread's doing my head in, that's for sure. Right, and I've only got about 3 stitches left to do, which is ridiculous. Right. And actually I didn't mean to pull that thread so tight and gather it all up, but here we go again. Now that I've done it, I feel like it was a happy accident, because I feel like I like the way it actually looks. So I'm now going to finish that off on the back there. Okay, let's sort all this out, because this has got itself in a right 2 and 8. Right, that needs to be under there, like that. That's good. That, I believe, goes there. And then it folds like that. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously we've got our black lines, but we'll iron those out. That's absolutely fine. So let's get some land mass going on. Let's have a slurp of coffee. to do this thread weaving, we need, and I mean loads of people have done this. I remember seeing Anne Brooke doing some when she was doing her 52 tags. As I say, Catherine from K3N, she did some. Just might need a bigger needle for all these, yeah. Just at the beginning of the week, so loads of people have done it. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of vertical lines, and then we're going to do a series of horizontal ones that cross over them. So we do our vertical ones first. So I start, say, there. Now the thing that you have to be careful of when you do this is that you don't over pull in the way that I just did. Now I'm leaving, I don't know, what is that, about half a centimetre, something like that. Pull it firm but don't stretch it. And then that one I'm going to keep roughly on the same level height wise. And you can see that I've kept it semi-level but sort of going up because I want like a bit of a hill there. And then I'm going to start to come down. Okay, I am on camera, aren't I? Yeah. So now it's going to take quite a little bit of time to weave this and fill it all up. It's not a quick thing by any means. Tuck those blue threads in. Of course, I suppose I could have made these lamb masses by doing some more felting. I didn't really want to. I was going to say keep repeating the same thing, but of course we're adding thread to everyone. So there is an element of doing the same thing, but that is obviously because it's stitchery. And now I'm going to try and go up a little bit more again, so that I've got a varied height lamb mass. Oh, that's gone a bit skew-whiff. That's the only thing, you need to keep them as straight as you can. And I'm going to do them as two separate pieces. I'm not going to go all the way round. So that will be the last one. my last warp, top to bottom, vertical, whatever you would like to call it. Now I'm going to come up right next to that hole there, as if I was doing an invisible stitch, and I'm just going to weave. So we're going over, under, over, under, over, under, and I'm going to pull it through, and that's an under. So over, under, over. You might find it easier if you use the eye end of your needle for this. Under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And because I've gone back and done it the first row in exactly the same colour, we're getting an edge to our water, which is what I wanted. Over, under, over, under, over. And then when we get right to the end there, I'm going to anchor it in. So I'm going to take the stitch to the back, like that. Turn it round the right way for you, so you can see, yeah. Now, as I do the next one, so do a little knot there. Anchor that tight. Now I'm going to get the darker of the greens, and we're going to do exactly the same again, but this time I'll probably do 2, maybe even 3 of the dark, because I don't want stripes, as in just constantly doing one row in each colour. I want to blend it. I may even get up, find a different green again. I have got plenty of greens, so it's quite possible. Right, so we'll start here again. So bringing up my thread, making sure that this is, you know, down where we want it. Right, now that was an over, so now I'm going to turn it round because it's easier, and we're going under, over, under, over, under, put it through, poke it down. This is also obviously what you do if you were doing, say, I don't know, basket of flowers, or bearing in mind the time of year, basket for your Christmas tree, something like that. So under, over, under, over, under, over, under. I'm not doing this. Oh, I pulled that one now. Didn't mean to do that. So you see that one that I've just pulled. There we go. I'm not doing this just because you're here. I talk to myself like this all the time when I'm doing this. Right, so I'm gonna stitch down in there, put it nice and tight, and then again, like you're doing an invisible stitch, come back through right next to it. And then this one, we are going over, under, over, under. So basically the reverse of how you started. Under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And for these shorter stitches, we're going to find that we're only going to get 2 or 3. Now, I've actually done that wrong, haven't I? Because I can see that I've got one there that's extended. Can you see that? So that's wrong, but because we are doing a grassy bank rather than an actual basket, I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it. And I think this is the time that we're going to go and find. Oops, don't pull it tight, Claire. See, that's what you've got to be careful of. Don't pull it tight. Okay. And just close that off. And I'm going to go and find a different green so that we've got more colour on our bank. So 2 seconds. Maybe 3 seconds. Right. I think that's quite close to that. That's quite close to that, but this is very different. So we'll go with this one. Oops. So this is mainly, especially this side and this side, going to be stitched over because I want to do my bulrushes and everything. So, and my grasses. So you're not going to see a whole amount of this. Right, now, because that area is low and full up, I'm actually going to start this next row with this up right here. Okay, so I'm going to go over, under, over, that's why it was there, because I couldn't see that one. That's why it went wrong. There we go. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Yeah. Over, under, over, under. Over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'm hoping that what I'm doing is creating this interesting grass bank. So through there. And pull it. See, it takes quite a lot of stitches. Right, so that was under. So now we're going. I mean, that was over, sorry. You know what I mean by now. You all know what weaving looks like. It's just that where I positioned my uprights at different heights to give me the undulations of the, see, so there I'm actually just going to poke it through like that. Okay, so that's a low bank, and then where I've poked it through there, I'm actually going to come up on the next upright there, and we're going to go over, under, over, because these are very long, these ones, so these are going to take a bit of stitching. And I think because we're sort of at the top in some areas, I'm going to keep going with this same colour. So that's an under, an over, and I'm hoping that it sort of looks like, right, it sort of looks like, you know, grasses going into the water and growing out of this mound. Okay, so now I've finished these ones, as you can see, so I'm going for this one again, the tallest one. So I'm going to start there. Okay, and it's an over, so it's an under. And then this side, I'm going to stop on this one. So I'm going to poke it down there. Just give it a little tug. And then I'm coming up that side of it because I need it to be an over, but not with a knot if we can help it. There we go. So over, under, over, under. Okay, and then over, under, over, because now I'm only doing, as you can see, I'm only doing 3 of them now. So that's going back down. Trying to make sure I don't stitch 2 pages together as well. There you go, there is my little mound, so my riverbank as it were, my mound of land mass or whatever you want to call it. So you can see where I'm going, you can see what I'm doing, hopefully you understand it. I don't think I'm going to bore you with me doing the landmass all round here, so I think I'll turn the camera off, I'll get my landmass done, I'll get all my lines ironed out, and then we'll come back for stitching the grasses and the bulrushes, etc. next week. So as always, thank you so much for joining me. Stay safe, I'll see you very soon. Ta-ta for now.